Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all so much for joining Descript office hours. My name is Harmony Jurudek. I'm one of the customer success managers and product specialist here. I'm joined by Andrew Mason, our CEO, who's going to be walking us through some demos and new workflows. Going to be talking about our roadmap priorities and looking forward to taking feedback from all of you wonderful folks on this call. So we want it to be as interactive as possible. So please put your questions in the Zoom chat as we go along, and we'll look forward to taking those live. To kick things off, tell us where you're joining us from today. I'm in sunny San Diego, so looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. So as you may have all seen, we recently pushed an update with some exciting new features and improvements. One of my favorites is the quick editor modal for screen recording. So now when you finish a screen recording, you can instantly see a preview, fully transcribed, and you can edit your video before you share. You can now batch edit clip properties, just shift click to select multiple clips. Then you can edit using the inspector. You may have also noticed we added a toolbar to the timeline. We've also added the ability to adjust clip speed for your audio and video clips. And now, actually, when you use Overdub to correct a word associated with a video clip, we preserve that video and just tweak its speed slightly to match the duration of the Overdub audio. And then lastly, if you're enjoying Descript and you want to tell your friends about it, we recently launched an affiliate program. I think I've got that on the next slide here. So if you're looking to get paid for spreading the word, this is a great way to do that. So you can go to descript.com/affiliate and check that out. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Andrew to kick things off. And yeah, like I said, looking forward to taking your questions as you have them.
Thank you, Harmony, and hi, everyone. It's exciting to be doing this. I'm just going to give you some demos of the new stuff that we just did, and maybe I'll show you a preview of some of the things that we're working on. And if anyone has the self-confidence to just interrupt me and ask questions as we go, feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll I love that. Otherwise, we'll just make space for questions at the end where you can ask whatever you want. Let me share my screen. Okay, so the first thing that Harmony mentioned is that we've built this new flow into our screen recorder that makes editing really easy. This is something we've been working on for a few months, and we're pretty pumped up about it. I don't know how many of you use screen recorders to communicate. We use screen recorders in two ways. One is like sharing stuff within our team, just quick recordings that are higher information bandwidth than email, but almost the way that you would use email, right? Sometimes you send it externally. A lot of times you're just doing it internally. The other way we use screen recorders are to make screen and webcam based videos, like the product release videos that we do. And we wanted to build it into Descript so that we could have one tool that accomplished both of those things super well. And the problem with screen recordings, in my opinion, has always been, especially as a means of, as kind of like an email replacement, is it's super easy to create them. You just hit record and open your mouth. But you miss having a backspace key. You miss some of the fluidity of email. And frankly, that's, I think, what's holding back video as a communication medium at large. So the promise of putting it in Descript has always, a screen recorder in Descript has always been making it super easy to edit the screen recordings. And I think with this release, we're really starting to, fully realize that promise. So let me just start a recording here. And I probably should have just recorded everything that I just said so I don't have to make this fake recording. But, you know, you live and you learn. Next webinar, I'll definitely get it right. Okay, that's probably enough. And I stop And what should happen here is that you'll instantly see the transcribed recording. And now I can edit it just like I edit a doc before I share. So if I want to remove all the filler words, I can do that. You can even use Overdub on this, which is really good. I can definitely, and I definitely should have just recorded everything that I said, and it'll generate the audio. And this is using some new improvements that we shipped recently to Overdub, where it here
Definitely.
where just recorded everything that I just said. It's actually going to adjust the video duration to match the duration of the audio and keep it untapped. So from there, I can just click here and I can publish the video, and it's good to go. So still very quick to share. And then it shows up in my project browser. We've changed it so that screen recordings are just showing up in the main drive along with everything else that you have in Descript, so you can easily organize your screen recordings into folders or whatever you want. And then if I want to come in here and make some changes, I can easily do that. And I can also just click here if I want to edit, if I want to edit it in Descript. I can also, there's this copy to clipboard button. If I want to copy it into another project, I can do that. And then I can paste it in. If I'm just copying some B-roll or something, you can see I just pasted that video as a new track in here. I'm going to undo that. And then I can turn this screen recording into a full-fledged Descript project if I want to as well. So now that I have it in here, it's really easy to do something like add a title. A cool trick, if you didn't know it, by the way, is if you highlight a text range before you add a title, I'm pressing Command K to use the conductor there, it will match the clip to the duration of your selection. We probably don't do a good enough job explaining that. And anyway, I can make whatever changes I want. If I want to, maybe instead I wanted to add fancy captions so that it's just recorded everything that I just, narrating the whole thing, just recorded everything that I just said. Don't want that to be white. Let's change it to black or some other color. So I don't have, and then I can republish it just like that, and it'll push all the updates. So those are the screen recorder improvements, and we'll continue to make that better and better, but hope you have a chance to check it out. It's pretty cool and pretty useful. The second thing is we've been working on our timeline and trying to make the timeline editing experience feel more fluid. You'll notice right away we've added this toolbar. So the only tool we had in the past was just this range selection tool. That's still there. You can still just leave it on that if you want, but we also have a more traditional select tool that I can use to drag things around. These all have keyboard shortcuts, and you can just hold one of these keys. So if I want to hold the B key to access the blade, make some cuts, and then release, select, and delete. And the same thing with this hand tool for moving around. We're planning to add like a slip tool and a trim tool at some point in the next couple of months. And just in general, we're about halfway done with the improvements that we want to make to the timeline. There's some weird stuff, like if I drag a clip, you'll see that it snaps immediately to the 0 position of the clip when I'm dragging, which might not seem like a big deal as I explain it, but if you actually use it, it's kind of annoying. So a lot of those like rough edges and polish issues, we're still looking to improve. And we're also working on some cooler stuff. Like if you've ever done a more complicated video edit, you'll notice a lot of stuff like this where you have these cascading tracks, and it can end up taking up quite a bit of space. We're going to make it so that you can basically merge together multiple pinned tracks so that they behave as if so you get the benefits of having clips pinned to the script to have a determined a start time for these clips that's locked to the narration. But then by merging them together, you can do things like add transitions between them and just minimize this overlap. So it'll be a cleaner experience, and kind of trying to find the best of both worlds between this anchored clip approach that we have and a more traditional multi-track timeline approach that we have. So those are some. Oh, I didn't mention batch editing. So batch editing, if I can now shift click to select multiple clips, and then here I can adjust the speed or of the clips or the volume or whatever I want to adjust in batch. Um, and then another thing that we'll be adding soon is just the ability to draw a rectangle or arbitrarily select clips, like command click to select and drag things that aren't necessarily contiguous, which is all that we support right now. So more improvements to that kind of batch selection and batch editing are hopefully right around the corner. One other little preview to give you guys is we are actually merging together our composition sidebar and our media library. So the media library will be going away as a unique sidebar, and you're just going to have this one sidebar that has everything in it. So you can see this is basically how it's going to show up at first, is when you're just adding files directly to your composition, they'll show up in this project files folder. And then you'll actually be able to double click on files and open files directly in the editor to preview them. For audio files, you'll be able to apply destructive effects. We're doing this in part in anticipation of some processing effects that we're building, like a noise reduction thing that should be really cool, and we hope to have in some form in the next couple of months. But also the thinking here is this will, if I can. A lot of editors will have a workflow where you have kind of a media library staging area where you can open longer clips and then go into the timeline and select the bits that you want and drag them or clip them into your main view. And our approach to that is going to be more along. Let's see if I can get this to open. There we go. Is going to be more of a multi-window approach. So you can imagine having one window open that you're kind of treating as your main timeline, and another window open that you're treating as your media library, and then you'll be able to copy the bits that you want directly into here if you're doing that kind of more elaborate editing. So it's kind of a different approach to using a media library as a staging area, but hopefully a simpler and more flexible one. And having this all in one sidebar means that you'll easily be able to organize your files into folders, which has been a popular request. We're also introducing like a filter and search for the media library in particular that will let you have different views of this stuff and find what you're looking for quickly. Let's see if I can add a sequence. I was going to show you that too. Well, yeah, so that's a little bit about what's coming soon. I'm curious to hear people's thoughts on that. If anyone has any strong feelings either way about it, it's definitely something we'll have in beta for a little bit if people want to test it out and see how it feels before we ship it. Another thing that we have coming actually next week that's been a popular request is on our publish pages, we're adding a privacy feature. So you'll be able to is it on here yet? It's not on here yet. Maybe it's here. Yeah, so you'll be able to mark any page that you publish as public, so it's indexed by search engines, unlisted, meaning, which is what we have now, or restricted. And if it's restricted, then you need to be explicitly invited to the project in order to see it. So that's actually shipping, I think, hopefully next Monday. So yeah, that's what we've got. That's what I was going to show you guys. Questions, comments that can be about the release or just anything in general, I guess related to Descript.
So Andrew, I've got a list of questions if it's helpful to just kind of start going through in order, if that's okay. I know Abby's posted a couple of questions. Since you kicked it off with the quick edit modal, maybe we could take some of those questions around. Once you create a screen recording, where does it go? Where is it stored? How do I access it?
Yeah, so when you create a screen recording, it'll show up right in your drive, just like this. So you can see now anything that has this computer monitor icon, that's a screen recording, and anything with this composition book is a project.
Oh, can you share your screen, Andrew?
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Amateur hour, sorry. Yeah, so like that screen recording I just made, it's showing up right there. Yeah, so all these screen recordings that I've made, they're showing up right here. And then these are my normal Descript projects. So they're all right in there together.
Awesome. We also had another question, just kind of like taking it back to the basics of Descript. Where can beginners go to get familiarized with Descript? We have some in-app tutorials. We have some beginner YouTube videos. What would you suggest?
That's a good question. It's a timely question. It gives me opportunity to tell you about something else that's coming up soon. So right now you can go here and we have these simple video tutorials, but we also have this interactive tutorial that you can open. And if you just go through this tutorial, it's gonna, sorry, this is weirdness because I'm using a staging version of the app. And as you can see here, that enables that project sidebar thing. Anyway, so you could open this tutorial project and a lot of people find that useful. But something we'll be making videos for and releasing very soon is this new learning rail. It's not going to look like this. But the idea is that we'll have tracks of videos for different popular use cases. So just pure transcription, screen recording, podcasting, and video editing. We'll have a set of very focused short videos that you can either watch when you need them or go through them. And it'll just work like this, where you just click on it and it opens a little video in the app and then you can go through that. So hopefully that'll be helpful for you. If you don't want to wait though for another 3 weeks to learn how to use Descript, then I would just check out that tutorial section in our YouTube page. We've got a lot of good stuff there.
Awesome. And then around the question of
people, by the way, if people want to, they can ask their own questions.
You can do that. Yeah, so for folks that if you want to come on screen or if you're already on screen, great. Go ahead and use the raise hand feature and we'll bring you right on.
In the meantime, you can ask their questions, I guess, Harmony.
Okay. All right, let's see. We have one. Let's see here. All right. So let's bring on Jack Bibbo and then Dion right after that.
Hey,
Jack.
How you doing?
Good.
Never afraid to ask a question in front of a large group, so I appreciate it. So I'm kind of curious, we don't have to get too far into it, but how people use it. I'm from Masterclass, and we're using this strictly as an offline tool. So we are searching across multiple instructors to tell different narrative stories. And by an offline tool, I simply just mean like I'm scanning through hundreds of instructors, hundreds of transcripts, pulling at different stories, different narratives that whatever serve our marketing needs. But it's all offline. So what's most important to us, in offline meaning basically, then we'll take it back, we'll get into a more robust NLE, and we'll really make it sing and dance with music and sound effects and the whole bit.
But do you mean offline, by like not on the internet, or?
No, I mean, so it's kind of like an old editor's term. Basically, it's just like, I don't care about high res, really low res.
Right.
I just want to see somebody's face. Where this has been unbelievably powerful for us is in the past, we would search just transcripts. And so if somebody was saying, I'm going to the store, I would look at that. I would take probably a half hour. I'd go to the raw files, find the clip, and see if they said it on screen in the right way. If they even said it on screen, if they said it on screen, they're not mumbling. With Descript, what I'm allowed to do is quickly search for the quote, I went to the store, see who said it, how they said it, and if it's articulate enough. Then I can quickly grab that clip and put it in the timeline because that's part of my narrative. Then I'll push it to, I'll push it to the team who will then, find the 3.5K footage that we shot on set. So offline for us is really just like low res. I'm using MP4s that I've uploaded into Descript. It actually still looks pretty darn good, but I could use something that's 960 by 540 and not even sweat it. It doesn't matter. So what's really important to us, and then I'm not either getting and I'm going to talk to Jack later today about it, is basically time code. When I upload, I want to carry time code through, so that when I spit it back out, that time code follows, because that's our stamp, where it's like that will track. If I can carry time code through on the dailies, then I can carry time code all the way to the raw files. And so then I'm just kicking out an XML, I'm bringing it into Premiere, I'm matching back to the raws, and a whole host of teams have now democratized storytelling, and they're just pushing it off to the team. Does that make sense? So again, the question really is simply just like, is there any integration for timecode, like a SMPTE timecode or something?
It's not so much that you want timecode to appear in the app. You want to make sure that in the exported Premiere XML, timecode is used. It's referring to timecode instead of just time.
Exactly. Yeah. Descript generates our time code based off of 0. I want production camera time code. Yeah.
We thought that we had just pushed some fixes to this that address the issue, but apparently we did not get it right. So I think you're talking to Jack, who works here, not yourself. Right. And we are going to, we should just get to the bottom of it and use your use case to make sure that we fix it. Cause I think that would make a lot of people happy. You'll be a hero.
Glad to help. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next we have Dion Davis, and then right after that, Michael. So Dion.
Hello.
Hey, Dion.
I had a question. I've been using the script. I've been editing words, but it don't be letting me at all.
You've been editing words, but it doesn't let you at all?
Yeah, in the transcript.
What we might want to do, if you hop in Discord or if you write support, we can help you with that there and see what's going on. Because it sounds like you definitely should be able to do that.
Yeah, but it don't be letting me though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe there's some one-off technical support issue that we can help you with. So we'll get right on it. Hop on Discord, or I don't know if there's a way for Harmony to follow up with you and chat one-on-one.
Yeah, I can follow up with you. We also have built-in chat in the app, so you can also chat instantly with our support team directly in app. So
we did that recently too.
Yeah, I don't have the app though. Can one of y'all give me your emails?
Yeah, Dion, go ahead and email me. I'm harmony@descript.com, and I'll gladly help you offline.
Thank you.
All right, let's see who we have next here. Michael Killen.
Hey team, hey Andrew, hey Harmony.
Hey Michael.
I just wanted to know a little bit more about how the cloud uploads work. I haven't really understood too much about the documentation you guys have given. We've got a team all around the world who are all using essentially Descript. I upload the videos, and we're just trying to find out what the best workflow is. Sometimes they've noticed that it takes a long time for them to download files. I get like, it's obviously reliant on the internet, but I just wanted to make sure if I upload a file into Descript, how does that stay on my folder? Because I know that you guys have also said there's different ways to store media on the computer, and you kind of have to hack together something, but it's also thrown up to the cloud, and that you use an optimized version, I believe, in the editor. I just wondering if I could understand a little bit more about that so I can relay that to my team.
Sure thing. So at a high level, like the principle that we're going for, I mean, as somebody who's used innumerable DAWs and NLEs, trying to avoid that problem that makes you feel like you're in 1998 of you open a session and it can't find any files and that kind of thing. So we're like, it's 2020. The internet exists. We should try to avoid issues like that. So the way that it works is when you add a file, we will create a proxy version of that file or an optimized version of that file. So as soon as you add the file, we start transcoding it for a version that should look and sound and be performance for editing purposes. Once that's done, we upload it to the cloud. We also upload the original file to the cloud. And the idea of uploading the original file to the cloud is that then when you export, we can export from the cloud using your high resolution assets while you shouldn't need to keep them downloaded on your computer. So we'll keep the if you add a file, we will keep the original file stored in a hidden Descript folder on your computer unless you delete the project off your computer and re-download it, in which case we won't re-download the original file unless you go into the project settings and say that that's the way that you want it to work all the time, where you always want to have the original files downloaded. So if you're the one that's uploading the video files, I know that also probably sounds very complicated, but if you're the one that's uploading the original file will stay downloaded on your computer. When your collaborators go to download the project, it will only download the optimized version. And only if they export locally will it then download the originals, unless you tell it to skip that. You have an opportunity to say, like, don't do that and just generate the final version using the optimized assets, which is going to be lower quality. The main feature that we're missing for anybody that's working with super high bitrate video is the ability to say, like, don't mess around with my original files. So if you're someone like Jack and you're just using it for offline editing and you don't care about the high res stuff, you probably don't want Descript to back up the originals, because all you're doing, your workflow is going to end up in a different editor anyway. So that's something that's kind of perennially the next thing to do on our roadmap, is to give people a preference where they can not download, where when files are added, we don't try to upload the original file. We just generate the proxy and throw away the original. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's much clearer. So and so therefore, if I'm uploading from like a second or third hard drive, does that mean that there are then two original files on my computer, on my workstation?
On your computer, it'll make a copy of that, exactly.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that. And is there then there's a cloud storage limit?
No.
Okay.
Which is probably like untenable.
Well, to me, I'm like, I must have missed something, because I know there's cloud storage limits on everything now. So I presumed I'd missed something.
No, that'll be a problem for us at some point, and the party will end.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you figure that out in 2022 then. Thank you very much for that, Andrew. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's really clarified that. Thank you.
All right, next up, David Watson. Come on down.
Hi, David. I think you're still muted.
Sorry, I've actually got a very slow internet just at the moment as well. So if I sound crap, then sorry about that.
No sweat.
Right. First question was, I've used a lot of screen recorders, and one of the issues that I find with a lot of them is they don't do one thing that I have in Camtasia, which is cursor highlighting. Do you have any plans to add that into the screen recorder? That would be really sort of nice.
It would, yes. Yeah. Cursor highlighting, like more cursor effects and such as highlighting, as well as keystroke capture, are things we would love to do. And we'll just add those as kind of layers in the timeline, so you can enable them or disable them.
Okay, great. That would be great. My other question is, obviously from my accent, you can tell I'm from the UK, and I have a problem with certain words. In particular, if I say wait, Descript always transcribes it as weird. So every occurrence of
for
weird,
what it's worth, I don't even know what you said. What was the first word?
Wait.
I know one was weird. They both sounded like weird to me.
That's probably why Descript transcribes them. The first one was wait, W-A-I-T.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Yeah. So is it just a question of me trying to train my own accent, or is there anything I can do in Descript to try and help it?
That one is tough. That one is going to be tough because so we have a transcription glossary, but it's not going to help you with this. Like, yeah, I think eventually technology will catch up with this, and either we'll release features like a transcription model that's personalized for your voice, or there's stuff that's going to be accent specific. We don't have a solution for that particular issue right now. We just have kind of a one size fits all English transcription model, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, so that's really down to me and me training my own voice to avoid the particular words that I'm going to cause a problem in Descript.
Have you tried the correction wizard thing that we built?
No, I haven't.
So when you go to correct a word, there will be a little magic wand sparkly icon, and if you click that, it will detect all the words that it thinks might be wrong, and then if you click on one of those, it'll take you through a flow where one after the other you listen to them and correct them. So I found that to work pretty well when I'm trying to correct a transcript of someone with a non-American English accent. So maybe give that a try, see if that's helpful.
All right, I'll try that. Thanks very much, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Adam Burns.
Hi there. Yeah, I work for the Canadian Press in Toronto. We have obviously a large contingent of French-speaking staff, and so I guess my question is sort of related to David's. Just wondering if there's any kind of timeline. I know that support for other languages is sort of the most requested feature, but if you could just give us some insight as to like what that process is like, or where you are in the process of potentially adding other languages to Descript, because that would be certainly a huge selling point for trying to sort of get my company to use this more widely. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for the question. You speak for a lot of people. Internally, we as well are frustrated with not supporting multiple languages. We have an office in Montreal, and many native French speakers work at the company. The way that we think of it as a company is we just still feel like there's a lot of work to do to get the foundation of the product working well before we start expanding the offering horizontally, which just as when you're getting into something like supporting multiple languages, it tends to just introduce a tax that slows down everything that you do. It could be that we're over exaggerating it and it's not actually going to be that bad, but we still don't the short answer is we still don't have a timeline for when we're going to introduce multiple languages, but definitely it'll happen sooner or later.
Thank you.
Dion, you're back. Any luck with that correction? Okay.
All right. Well, the next person that has their hand up is Abby Combs. I know Abby's had a lot of questions around sort of like getting started, getting more beginner basics with Descript. So Abby, come on over.
Yeah, I had asked a lot of questions in the chat. Some of them had been answered, but I'm newer to podcasting. I mean, some of the questions that were being asked were like way above my level of understanding, but the tutorials that I've watched seem to go really fast and don't really break stuff down step by step. So that has been really difficult for me to like pause every 2 seconds to like make sure that I can follow along. And support has been helpful, but it takes like sometimes 2 days to get a response. So like, is there any sort of like onboarding calls that you do? I mean, I'm also on a PC and I, watch a tutorial video about a feature and I'm like, okay, I think I know how to do that from Apple. And then it's like, oh, by the way, this is for Mac users only. So that's also been really frustrating to, test out this product that I heard about from a coworker and then have, a lot of challenges. And it feels like takes a lot of effort on my part to try to find the answers and like find out what I need. So I don't know if there is ability to have like a one-on-one kind of like welcome to Descript session. I'm having a lot of trouble using the tutorials or finding value in them.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. That's my fault. I with the tutorials, we've definitely gotten that feedback before that they just go way too fast. And the new tutorials that we're coming out with are specifically trying to address that and break things down into smaller bite-sized chunks and go a little bit slower. But we kind of sometimes do one-on-one stuff. We could try it. Why don't you do a session with Harmony?
Yeah, Abby, just send it to harmony@descript.com. And yeah, I'd love to do a session with you.
Okay, yeah, I would really appreciate that. I mean, like I said, I've been using Premiere to do a lot of our podcast editing. So I'm like somewhat familiar with stuff, but I feel like I'm trying to learn all over again. And yeah, okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Awesome. Let's see here. We have David. David, oh, I'm going to butcher your last name. Mbuga or Mbugwa?
It's Mbugwa.
Okay,
Hi, everyone.
Hey, David.
This is David calling in from Kenya. And I've been doing some tutorials for Descript since the day you started. I remember that. And I had 3 questions. So are we going to get the embeddable player for WordPress? So I've been waiting for that for about a year or so. Question number 2, is there any possibility we'll ever get the button to edit media or correct text inside the editing window?
We just added that.
It's back inside the editing interface.
It's back, but it's different. So now if you correct a word, if you bring up the correction popover, you'll see a little like arrow expandy thing. And then you can click that to get into the correction mode. And it also tells you what the keyboard shortcut is.
Awesome. And the final question. I noticed there's an affiliate program coming up. It's only limited to Americans. I think North America.
Is that true?
If I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. I noticed. I signed up yesterday, but it was written, I think, North America. So I don't know. When is it going to be open up for the rest of the world?
Sandy, you're not on the call, are you? I have no idea.
I'm gonna message Sandy right now. So I'll follow up on that. Or I see Jay popped on, so maybe Jay can answer that.
So David, you are correct. It's North America only right now. To roll something out all across the world, the lawyers let me know that you got to be a little more gradual. So we're working on it, but I'm messaging the person who's running the program now to give you a specific answer.
Okay. Awesome.
Is it an issue with LinkMake, with the affiliate?
No, it's just how different compensations are recognized around the world.
Oh.
Yeah.
Lawyers.
Blame the question number 1.
Yeah. So on the embeddable player, doesn't it work on WordPress? Or are you talking about embedding the transcript?
Yes, embedding the transcript and the player. It doesn't work.
We don't have an embeddable transcript yet. If the player doesn't work, that's a surprise. It should work.
It only works on Medium and other places, but on WordPress it doesn't work.
Okay, that might be something we can fix. Will you just send me an email at andrew@descript.com and we'll follow up with you after we look into that.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, David, and thanks for using us since day 1. When is day 1 in your mind, by the way?
I think more than 2 years ago, more than 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, the
You've put
first
up,
I sent you a mini email the first few times I started using it, telling you what you are going to work on, the subtitling interface and all that.
did we get it right?
Yeah, you've done a good job.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? I don't see any other hands up. These are great questions, everyone. Please keep them coming. And if we run out of time, you can always post questions directly in the app on the chat in Discord. Go to help.descript.com. I can start kind of going backwards through the questions here. So unless anyone else wants to raise their hand, we can start going through some of the comments. Oh, I see Randy has a question.
Hello.
Hey, Randy.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate this specific update. I use Descript every single day, and these small little changes to the efficiency and workflow is very much appreciated. So no feature request, no commentary, just thank you for this update.
You're the man,
First time
Randy.
caller.
What and thanks for being so helpful in Discord, by the way. Unless that's
no
another
problem.
Randy that looks exactly like your
No, he's
avatar.
gone. Only one Randy.
How do you use Descript, by the way?
I do a lot of client calls and a lot of client demos and walkthroughs. So instead of having it on Zoom every single day, I'll do like a webinar or problem solving for them, and I'm sending them these videos over unpublished pages. So it's
nice.
It's very helpful for my day-to-day life there.
That's what we're all about.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, I see, let's see here in the chat. May had a question. Is there a way to permanently delete all copies of a voice recording from the cloud, both locally and et cetera? So May, I don't know if you're still here, so feel free to jump in if you want to expand on that.
If you delete a project from your drive, then any media assets will be deleted permanently from the cloud. It doesn't happen immediately, but it happened like it's in the next. We do it like once every 30 days or something like that.
All right, it looks like Jason Tigas has his hand up.
Yep. Hi, can you hear me?
Hey, Jason.
Hi. So I use Descript to get partner feedback. And sometimes I notice at the end of like their sentences, they might trail off or something. Is there a way to add in the word? So select the wave itself and then add in the word that is missing?
If you select the wave and you press the E key, I think it actually should do that.
Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll try that out.
Yeah, E is the shortcut for correcting the transcript of the selected range. So see if that works. If it doesn't, drop us a line and I don't know what'll happen.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Cool. Alan Armijo, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, Alan.
Hi, Andrew. I too have been using Descript for a while, and primarily when you were in audio, and I think that's why it's easier for me to understand as an, I can understand why new people might be having a problem because you've added so many things. So it's getting better and better all the time, but I'm sure that's harder for new people as opposed to me who was learning it in audio and just can follow on as you get into video. But I've seen great improvements. I want to congratulate you on that. And but my question is, regard to your affiliate program, I see pretty easy to promote and sell this, which we do with a lot of other affiliate programs. But because you're the owner, I thought I'd just ask, how can this commission go longer than just 1 year? It would be more feasible, easier to sell. We'd put more effort into it if we could get a longer term commission.
I see. Let's see how it goes, and if our current rate is a total disaster and it's not effective for us, maybe we'll pay more. We set that affiliate rate just based on what we were seeing from other other people in the market that have similar programs, and we've been testing it for a while in a closed format with YouTubers, and it's been going pretty well. But keep an eye on it, and your feedback is heard. And yeah,
it's not the rate; it's the length of time. You cut it off after a year, so as opposed to continuous.
Right. Exactly. Understood.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we're coming in the last 15 minutes. So continue to raise your hand as you have questions. I think I saw there was a question around expanding API access, either through Zapier or another portal. Andrew, do you want to talk about our API at all?
Or you can say no. I mean, other than like, yeah, we should totally do that. We should totally do it. It would be great. I would love to see more endpoints available in Zapier, as well as API access in general. It's unfortunately like not right up at the top of the list right now, but just put the feedback on the feedback board and get people to vote for it. And that's probably your best bet to get it prioritized. It's one of those things that's for us is like, this would be awesome and we totally want to do it, but it's not as obvious as to be like the next thing to invest a bunch of energy in as some of the other stuff that we've been focusing on.
Awesome. And I also saw some questions in and around the Overdub API as well. So right now that's just available to enterprise folks. So is there anything you'd want to share there, Andrew, related to the Overdub API?
Oh, Overdub API?
Yeah.
Same answer, I guess, applies to that. Same answer applies. Hey, can I show you guys something cool? I'll show you a little preview of our noise reduction stuff that we're going to be shipping hopefully in a couple of months. Let me show you a screen recording. This isn't me trying to like deflect questions about the API, by the way. I just thought of it as something that would be cool. You can ask more. We can talk more about the API too. Okay, so our approach to noise reduction is pretty interesting. We do a bunch of cool AI stuff here at Descript. We have an awesome team of researchers that let us invest in play around like in new kind of technologies like Overdub and like this. And instead of doing a traditional noise reduction, what we've done is we're calling it, at least internally, speech enhance. And the idea is that you can take any recording, like a MacBook recording or a phone recording, and turn it into broadcast quality. So it's kind of like a no settings, one-click thing that you turn on, and you get noise reduction, deverb, and EQ to make it sound broadcast quality. I don't know how well this is going to come across over Zoom, but I'll play it anyway. You can hear a couple samples.
The Load Post is brought to you by Goodyear, helping you discover the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven. The Load Post is brought to you by Goodyear, helping you discover the road ahead. Goodyear, more driven.
This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain.
Guys like us, we're not some brainiacs on the nerd patrol. We're not members of the Factinista. We go straight from the gut. Right, sir? That's where the truth lies. Right down here in the gut. Guys like us, we're not some brainiacs on the nerd patrol. We're not members of the Factinista. We go straight from the gut. Right, sir? That's where the truth lies. Right down here in the gut. Do you know you have more nerve endings in your gut than you have in your head? You can look it up. Now I know some of you are going to say I did look it up, and that's not true. That's because you looked it up in a book. Do you know you have more nerve endings in your gut than you have in your head? You can look it up. Now I know some of you are going to say I did look it up and that's not true. That's because you looked it up in a book. Next time, look it up in your gut. I did. My gut tells me that's how our nervous system works.
Anyway, so that's that. We're pretty pumped about it. It's just working through the final bits of debugging and just making it sound good. It's interesting with these AI effects, the nature of the bugs that you run into. So one of the things that we were running into and have now resolved is that it would actually make you sound like a different human being. Like it starts, it's almost like Jeff, like the fly, like going into a processor that ends up turning you into another person a little bit because of the AI training and the way that the generative media stuff, deep learning stuff works. So yeah, but we've figured that out. We won't turn you into somebody else. We'll just remove the noise and diverberate your recordings.
Well, it looks like that did spur a question. Dickon, do you want to jump on?
Yeah, will that be a blendable thing that you're doing there, so you can mix some of the original audio through it without jumping through too many hoops?
We're hoping to do it that way, but as we've been testing it, that causes some phasing issues with the way that the generative media works. It's not coming out quite straight.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand.
And I think May had a question related to what you just shared, Andrew. So does the speech enhancement feature work for audio files recorded into Descript and uploaded audio files?
Yep.
Great.
That'll be, I don't want to promise timelines, but hopefully in the next couple months, we'll have it out in some form.
Fantastic.
If anybody has any, like we want more real world audio, more customers that are actually denoising stuff so that we can test it on. If anybody has something that they want to send us on Discord, we can run it through and see what you think.
Great. Awesome. Well, for some of you that are still on screen, any questions or let's see here. Isam has a question. What is the use of inserting shapes into a document? Did I get that right, Isam?
If you're asking how do you insert shapes into a document, if you hit the plus button up at the top of the script and then you scroll down, you'll see the ability to insert rectangles, ovals, arrows, and lines.
Okay. Cool. Going back through some of the...
what is the use? Like, why would one do that? The reason one would do that is if they wanted to, I don't know, like point at something if in a screen recording, or maybe you want to use a rectangle to highlight something, like make it a semi-translucent yellow. Why would one use an oval? Perhaps one would use an oval to make as a background for text. Why would one use a line? Maybe you want to underline some text or something on the screen.
Right. All right. Let's see, Andrew, I think I saw a question early on, just generally about like, I use Zoom a lot. How can I get those meetings into Descript? How does that work?
So there's a couple ways you could do it. What I would recommend is if you go into your Zoom preferences and then you go down to recording and then you enable, where is it? Record a separate audio file for each participant. If you do that, you can then, and then you record locally, you can take those files and drag them into Descript, including the video file, and it will actually make a multi-track recording, which is either cool if you want to edit and you want to remove crosstalk or make individual edits to the individual speakers. The other thing that it'll do is it'll make your speaker labeling perfect because it does it on a track-by-track basis. This is another thing that we're working on, some features to automate to specifically improve our integration with Zoom and make it all automatic.
Right. Well, I don't think we've caught up on all of the questions, but that gets us like pretty close. In the last couple of minutes, Andrew, is there anything else you want to tell everyone on the call, or otherwise feel free to throw your hand up?
No, I think that's good. Thanks everybody for the feedback and for using Descript and for coming and hanging out today. We'll try to do this at least once a month, and it's always really exciting to have the opportunity to talk to you. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Well, if anyone, if we didn't answer your question today, or you still have questions, go to help.descript.com or go to our Discord channel. We try to do webinars every week as well. So head over to our YouTube channel if you have a specific workflow in mind. We're continuing to add content there. So really excited to have had this session with everyone today. Really appreciate your time.